I can't share the slides still. Okay, now it's okay. Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I have to tell you, we conduct lectures on online platform. This is not a normal physical lecture. So it's different. I do accept, but still we can make it more live in the sense, rather than listening to the speeches or the lecture done by me. If you too can cooperate with me, cooperate in the sense, if you can respond me when I am asking questions, that will be ideal actually. It will be interesting for both of us, you and me. Okay, so then those who are able to unmute your microphone and talk, you are welcome to do so. If you can't unmute your microphone, still you can communicate with me. That is by putting your questions, clarifications, verifications into chat box. Okay, agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then your message, that's sufficient. But I like if you talk, but if you can't talk, at least put the message. Okay, so this is the very first time that we two meet. Okay, so I can see there are, there are 5 students, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the very first day, 5 or 6, I don't know. Next session, I hope there will be more students. Anyhow, I will give you a small introduction about myself. I'm Anusha Tennakon. Permanently, I work as a senior lecturer in English at SLEAT. SLEAT stands for Sri Lanka Institute of Advanced Technological Education. And I have inserted here my educational qualifications. That is because you have a right to know from whom you are learning something. So you have a right to learn from a qualified person. I think even the management is always trying to search for qualified people. At the same time, I have given you my mobile numbers. If you need my help for your subject matters, you are free to contact me. At the same time, I have given you my email address also, official one. Okay, that is about me. So then I like if you two can give me a small introduction about yourself. Farveen, what about you? And some of the names are familiar to me. Maybe same names are there.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'm Farveen from Belie. I'm teacher, government teacher from 2 years. I finished my HND in Behiwala.
Really?
Thank you.
Okay. Then Ilma?
Good evening, ma'am. This is Ilma.
Yeah.
I am from Kandy. I am teaching in an international school for about 3 years. And I was doing my degree in social sciences at the Open University. And currently, I'm in Dubai. So that's it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Savindi?
Good evening, madam.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm Savindi Chandula from Rabukkana. I followed National Diploma in Teaching Science at CNA National College of Education. My main subject is English Medium Mathematics. I teach in government school since 6 months.
6 months. Very recently you got your appointment. Okay, very nice. Okay, so then why are you following this English program, B.Ed degree? Is that to improve your English qualifications and knowledge?
Yes, madam.
Okay, very good. Very nice and very interesting. Teaching mathematics and following this degree program which is related to English. Very good. Sudisha. Yes, Sudisha. Okay, we'll listen to Sudisha later. We'll start. Okay, so then in this slide, you can see the title of your subject. Languages and linguistics. Okay, so this is introduction. From the title, what do you feel? Languages, you know what it is. We all are living in Sri Lanka and we have many languages in Sri Lanka like Sinhalese, Tamil, English, 3 main languages. I don't. There may be some other languages in small communities. But when we think of a country like India, there are many more languages. So then what is linguistic? What is linguistic?
Like a scientific study of the languages.
Very good, exactly, very good. Linguistic is the scientific study of languages. Okay, so now you have some idea. Under this subject, you are going to know about languages and the scientific study of them. Okay, I will show you. Okay, give me 1 minute. There's another one which I need to share, which contain the syllabus. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, now fine. Okay. Okay, now we are with the same slide. Okay, so then this subject contains 5 major topics. Okay, did you get the point? 5 major topics. So then out of these 5 major topics, they are just like chapters. I have typed here the subtopics of first section. You can have an idea about it. And we'll take it as chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, just like that. So the subject contains 5 main topics. Under these 5 main topics, there are many subtopics. Okay, so then we have a huge content to be covered. Okay, so this is first one. Chapter 1, these are the subtopics. How many languages are there in the world? Does the United States have an official language? What is human language? Science, arbitrary and non-arbitrary. Language and pattern structures. Speech as pattern language use. The origin of languages, babble to babble. Language and dialects, modes of linguistic communication. Do humans alone have language? Can chimpanzees learn a human language? What is linguistics? Okay. So sometimes when you see these subtopics, you may feel very funny, just like, can chimpanzees learn a human language? But even from these subtopics, you will get a broader idea about languages and linguistics. Okay, so I will show you the remaining ones next. As the very first day, I thought of covering a big portion of chapter 1. And as I got to know from the management, per month, we are having nearly 4.5 hours. That means one day we will be having 2-hour lecture. Another day we will be having 2.5. And then it is going like that for 6 months. That's what I can remember. So anyhow, altogether we are having 27-30 hours. Somewhere around 27 and 30, maximum 30 hours. So we have a huge responsibility. Okay, we'll go to the first one. Okay, read it first by yourself. And when you finish reading, just inform me. Are you still reading? Okay. Yes, maybe you finished reading. Yeah, very good. It seems safe to stick with the conventional wisdom that there are between 6,000 and 7,000 languages in use in the world. Okay, most of the people believe there are nearly 6,000, 7,000 languages all over the world. We also will imagine there are around 7,000 languages. Of those thousands, only Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish, 6 languages, have official status at the United Nations. Okay, you know what the UNO, United Nations, they have recognized these 6 languages. And French does not rank among the top 10 languages in terms of number of speakers. French language is also a world famous language, but it is not among top 10 languages of the world. Okay, so that is because there are no many French speakers. While Hindi, Bengali, Portuguese, German, and Indonesian, Malay have greater number of speakers than some official UN languages. Okay, so then UN languages, you know, Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian. Okay, so then more than these languages, there are many people who speak Hindi, Bengali, Portuguese, German, and Indonesian Malay. But they are not there under top 10 languages. Okay, so then from this one, you can understand classification of languages, categorizing languages. It's a mess actually. It's just like a mess. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Okay. Don't know whether the slide is heavy. Okay, first read first paragraph. And when you finish it, tell me, then I will explain it. Then we can go to the next paragraph. Okay. Finish. Stop. Okay, you have finished reading. We'll understand it. Many Americans think English is the official language of the United States. Even you might have thought so. In fact, though the United States does not have an official language and never has had one, it's a surprising fact actually. In United States, USA, they do not have an official language. So we have official languages, other countries they have, but US, they do not have an official language. Some states have official languages, but there are many states in America. Some states, they have official language. For an example, Spanish is the official language of New Mexico. English and Hawaiian is the official language of Hawaii, but not the nation as a whole. So as a whole, for the whole country, there is no one official language. It is also an interesting fact. If you have a doubt, if you can't understand anything, you can disturb me and ask me to explain. Okay? Okay, no issue. Some Americans also tend to think of the United States as essentially a monolingual nation. So what is the meaning of monolingual?
Having only one language.
Very good. Having only one language, albeit with large number of Spanish speakers in the southwest, southeast, and northeast. But actually it's not. Actually though, nearly 47 million US residents over the age of 5 speak a home language other than English. That's almost 80% of that age group. Okay, so sometimes we may feel as a whole they talk in English. But actually, at the age of 5, all Americans, they speak a kind of home language. Maybe a language which is particular only to the region, like that. 28 million of those speak Spanish, with more than half of these Spanish speakers reporting that they also speak English very well. Okay, so there are Spanish speakers, but their English is also very good. Youngsters between the age of 5 and 17 who speak a home language other than English number close to 10 million. Okay, so then youngsters, those who are very young, between age of 5 and 7, the number of youngsters who speak a home language other than English, that is 10 million. And the vast majority likewise report they speak English very well. Okay, these are certain facts. There are no need of studying these things by heart. This is for your information. Okay, from this slide you can get to know even in America, even though we think that English language is the official language, it's not. In America, there's no any official language. There are different languages used by Americans state-wise. And most of the people, they speak some other language other than English. Is it clear? Any question? Okay, some more about America and its languages. Yeah, read this also. Okay, did you finish reading? Yes. Okay, we have to run a race also. You have to be a bit faster. Shall I explain?
Yeah, ma'am.
In 7 heavily populated states, there are many states in America. But there are 7 states which are highly populated. Among these 7, at least one of every 4 residents over the age of 5 speaks a home language other than English. Okay, that is understood. Arabic, Hindi, Hungarian, Korean, Tagalog, Thai, Urdu, and Vietnamese have speakers in all 50 states. Okay, so these people who speak these languages are split on all these 50 states. And indigenous North American languages are spoken by some Native Americans in all 50 states. So it's an interesting combination actually. You know, Native Americans, Red Indians, you might have heard of Great Seattle. Okay, so they are indigenous people. So they are also split all over other states. Navajo, with more than 175,000 speakers, is used in home in 47 states. That is also a native language. According to figures given in the ethnologue means the study of human. 162 living languages are spoken in the United States today. So finally, as a whole, we can say there are 162 languages spoken in United States today. See the combination. In our country, we have only 3 languages. They range from Achumawi, Alabama, and French Creole through Hawaiian, Lakota, Maricopa. What is that name? Yugha. Those are names, Vietnamese and Yachi Zapatko. At the moment, the United States is rich in languages, and even election ballots may be printed in multiple languages. Okay, in Sri Lanka, ballot paper, it is printed in 3 languages: English, Tamil, Sinhala. But in America, even the ballot paper can be seen in multiple languages. Okay. We'll go to the next. These are interesting facts about languages. Okay. Oh, sorry. These are for your information actually, because our subject topic is languages and linguistics. Okay, it seems you have finished. I received a message. Yeah, okay. Still, the linguistic richness of the United States, it is not stable and reliable. Okay, you know the meaning of stable and reliable. So linguistic richness, that's not stable and reliable. It may change. The survival of most American languages is threatened, both because speakers tend to be older and because insufficient resources support these heritage languages which yield to English among younger Native Americans. The reason is very clear because these native languages are spoken nowadays only by older people. Young people actually, they prefer to use English language. That happens even in Sri Lanka actually. So what is happening is native languages are threatened. They may extinct one day. Also, there are such allegation against certain languages in Sri Lanka, also for an Sinhalese language. People say it will go out of use one day. I can remember one of my friends in the staff in the past, he used to say one day when he was traveling, he overheard two teachers who got into the bus. They were talking actually. One teacher is telling to the other teacher, female teacher, මේ tablets daily ගත්තහම body එකට harmful. I think even you Muslim girls can understand Sinhala. Am I correct? Parveen, Ilma, can you understand Sinhala? Yes or no?
Yeah, can understand.
Can understand. Yo. See the sentence, may tablets daily ගත්තහම body එකට harmful. So in this caption, there are more English words than Sinhalese word. I'm sorry, I don't know Tamil. Even in your language, when you talk, you use more English languages, I suppose, English words. Hari, okay. After English, no language spoken in the United States comes close to Spanish in number of speakers. The majority speaks in English. The second majority is actually Spanish in America. Its 28 million US speakers far exceed the 2 million who speak Chinese and the 1.6 million who speak French. You can calculate or you can read them leisurely. With few exceptions, the children or grandchildren of immigrants can no longer comfortably speak or readily understand the language of their grandparents. Okay, so then those who have immigrated or migrated, they can't understand the language of their grandparents. Think of Srilankans who have been to other countries while their parents are still staying in Sri Lanka. Sinhalese, Tamil, both we can take as an example. Father, mother, they are in Sri Lanka. Children, they have gone to other country. Children come back with their children. That means grandchildren of parents, but they cannot communicate. Okay, so that same thing has happened even in America. Moreover, for all the richness of languages other than English throughout the United States, 215 million US residents above the age 5 speak English at home, a whopping 80%. Okay, so the percentage of English speakers at America at the age of 5 actually is 80%. It's a huge number. And that is why most of the people think English language is the official language of America, but it is not. Okay, we'll go quickly to the other slide. Okay, finished. Very good. Many people in the United States do not regard its linguistic diversity as an asset and seems to prefer that English alone be used, at least in public discourse. Okay, so then most of the Americans, they do not consider having many languages as something precious. They prefer English language to be the main language, actually. English alone be used. Their reasons are many. So why people think like this? There are many reasons for that. And there has been a spate of legislation, ballot initiatives, and court ruling on the matter. So when it goes to legal system, ballot initiative, ballot, election, okay? And court ruling, all these things are, the things should be written in many languages. Rather than that, having English as the main language is very convenient. That's what they think. The English-only movement arose in recent decades to push for legislation that would outlaw the use of non-English languages in certain circumstances and is particularly concerned about the use of non-English language in schools. Okay, so recently in America, there was a huge demand for English only, even in schools. While much of the concern about using languages other than English may be unwarranted, even xenophobic. Xenophobic means fear for other nations. Okay? Much of it is also prompted by legitimate concern over widespread failure of school-age youngsters to master standard English. At the same time, there was a failure in teaching standard English in school level. The situation is same even in Sri Lanka. You know, in Sri Lanka, 1943, it was decided to teach English as the second language of Sri Lanka. The decision was taken by a committee chaired by C.W.W. Kannangal. So you just imagine 1943 to 1923. How many years? It's nearly 8 years. Okay. So English has been taught in Sri Lanka as the second language, but still it's a failure. The same thing might have happened in America, standard English. Other Americans concerned about loss of the social, cultural, and political treasure that linguistic diversity represents want to preserve heritage languages and advocate bilingual education and English plus. Okay. So this is what I like and I would like to tell you. I will share these slides. I have to check it with the management. So when I share this slide with you all, you can have your own summaries. So summary of this slide is something like this. In America, recently, there was a huge demand for the concept of English only. Because most of the Americans, they do not consider having many languages as an advantage. At the same time, towards the end of this slide, you can see there are some other Americans who argue that there should be a place for other languages also. When we make English only language policy, the social, cultural, and political treasure will lose. Okay, so their suggestion is Americans' usage should be bilingual education. That means English plus some other language like that. Okay, quickly we'll go to the other slide. Okay, now we have come to another important topic. Up to this, is this clear? We were How many languages are there in the world? Does the United States have an official language? Did you get some idea about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll go to this new topic. What is human language? Okay, read it. Okay, so actually this slide should go with this next slide, then only you can understand it fully. Okay, tell me whether you finished reading this. Okay, yeah, is it? Yeah, finished. The modern study of language is rooted in question first asked millennia ago. Okay. As old as speculation on any subject, inquiry into the nature of language occupied Plato and Aristotle, as well as other Greek and Indian philosophers. The meaning of these sentences is actually the question, what is a human language? It goes long back to the history. During Plato and Aristotle times, Greek and Indian philosophers, they also raised the same question, what is human language? In some areas of grammatical analysis, the ancient made contributions that have remained useful for 2000 years and established some of the analytical categories still used today. So at that time, people gave an answer also for that. And those answers, they are useful even after 2000 years. That means today. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the field of linguistics emerged to address certain age-old questions, among them these. Okay? That means in the 19th century, 18 plus 18, 10, 18, 12, 18, 13, like that. Even in 20th century, 90. Okay, you know, always a century is one number to the year. So we are living in 2023. 20, but we say 21st century. The same way, 19th century means the year start with 18. Okay, we'll see what are the questions. Okay. And these are the common questions which were there and which are there regarding language. What is the nature of the relationship between sign and what they signify? What are the elements? Okay, you can leisurely read the questions. These were very common. You want me to read these questions? Okay, I will. What enables us to produce and understand sentences we have never heard before? How do languages achieve their communicative goals? What is the origin of language? In what ways do languages change and develop? What does it mean to say that two languages are related? How are languages and dialects related? What enables a young child to learn a language so well and efficiently? What makes it so challenging for an adult to learn a language? Are there right and wrong ways to express things? And if so, who decides? And these are very interesting questions, actually. If you like, you can do research on each of these questions. That is that much interest. Okay. Okay. Three phases of a language system. Okay, language is a system. And there are three phases, three sides. So that is visible from this graphical representation also. That is expression, meaning, context. These are the three phases of a language system. Okay, expression, meaning, context. Okay. Okay, finished. And when you study this subject, you have to understand the nature of the subject also. So this is a subject which contains lots of facts actually. Subject is languages and linguistics. Okay, so then this is a more rather than a theoretical subject. This contains lots of information. Okay, expression, meaning, context. They are the three phases of the system of a language. Expression means Expression encompasses, that means include, words, phrases, sentences, including intonation and stress. And you know what intonation, raising and lowering our voice, and stress, you know. To stress, we change the pattern. Okay, expression. Then meaning refers to the senses and reference of these elements of expressions. Okay, so then senses of these elements, expressions, that is meaning. Context refers to the social situation in which expression is uttered and includes whatever has been expressed earlier in that situation. It also relies on generally shared knowledge between speaker and hearer. Okay, so expression, that is that includes words, phrases, sentences, intonation, stress. Meaning refers to the senses and reference of those elements, expressions. Context refers to the social situation in which expression is uttered. Okay, that means background situation. I will give you an example to understand this. We'll say marvelous. That is an expression. Okay, simple example. Marvelous, fantastic, wonderful. It's an expression. The meaning is, I will say, marvelous, wonderful, surprise. The meaning is surprise. Context may be, just imagine when a student gets 9 A's, maybe mother is telling wonderful, something like that. That is the context. We'll say like that, I feel sorry. That is the expression. The meaning is sadness. Context may be in an accident, in a funeral, or something like that. Did you get the idea? What links expression and meaning is grammar. So always expression and meaning is joined together using grammar. What links grammar and interpretation is context. So this is very interesting. This is not something very tough. Just take into your mind. Expression and meaning is connected using grammar. Grammar and interpretation, what links grammar and interpretation, that is context. Without attention to both grammar and context, we cannot understand how language works. Okay, so here you can understand grammar is very important and also context is very important. So then only we can understand how language works. Okay, if it is not clear, ask questions. You can, this is the chance for you to check whether you understood it or not. Give me 1 minute. I want to switch on mobile hotspot because sometimes the electricity may go out in my area by 8:40. Okay, we'll see. Yeah? Sometimes it may, sometimes it may not. We'll see. Okay, if you do not have questions, we'll go to the next one. Language, mental and social. Okay, finish reading. Okay. Language is often viewed as a vehicle of thoughts, a system of expressions that mediates the transfer of thought from one person to another. And I think you will agree with this idea. Language works as a vehicle which carries thought actually. And we can transfer these thoughts from one person to another. In everyday life, language also serves equally important social and emotional functions. Okay? So language serves equally important social and emotional functions. Linguists are interested in models of how language is organized in the mind and how the social structure of human communities shape language, reflecting those structures in expressions and interpretation. Actually, what we discuss, language, that is there in our mind. So it's linguist. Linguist means those who study languages, they are interested in searching for how language is organized in human mind. And also the structure of human community shape the language. So then in Sri Lanka, Muslims and Tamils, they speak separate language, which is Tamil. Sinhalese, they speak Sinhalese language. And then Burgher communities, they speak another language. Okay, so the social structure where the human beings live, they shape the language. Tamil language is different from Sinhalese language. Malay language is different from Sinhalese and Tamil. That is because of the social structure. Okay, up to now, is it clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. We'll go to the next one. Arbitrary and non-arbitrary language. What is this message? Yes, okay. I'm sorry, the power cut, but now I can connect with you. Then once again, I can't share the slide. What shall we do? I don't know whether, yeah, Apax. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yeah, because I can't share the slide now. Not to whom. Yeah, give me 1 minute. I will give him a call. මිස්ටර් රිෂාඩ් මම ලෙක්චර් එක කර හිටියේ පවර් කට් එකකින් පස්සේ මම දැන් මේ ඩොංගල් එකෙන් ආයෙ ලොග් වුණා. මට දැන් ස්ක්‍රීන් එක ෂෙයා කරන්න බෑ ඉස්සරයක්. ඔව් ඔයා නෙමෙයිද මෙතන හැන්ඩල් කරේ? හා බලන්නකෝ පොඩ්ඩක්. හා. හ්ම්. Still, I can't share the screen. We'll see whether this will be fixed. Okay, now it's okay. Thank you. Okay. Arbitrary and non-arbitrary languages. This is what we were doing. Okay. I will not switch on video because it is dark. Then you can read this leisurely. Okay. Suppose you are still reading. Okay, finish reading. I suppose this can be understood very easily. Arbitrary signs include traffic lights, railroad crossing indicators, wedding rings, and national flags. So all of these things are arbitrary signs. There is no casual or inherent connection between arbitrary signs and what they signify or indicate. So here, you know what wedding ring. And you know the national flag. Think of the national flag of Sri Lanka. But what it represents and the national flag, the connection is arbitrary. That means there is no inherent connection between arbitrary sign and what they signify or indicate. For an example, a white pigeon. So what does it symbolize? We'll take very familiar example. White pigeon is the symbol of peace. Is there any connection between the white pigeon and the peace? Do you find something interconnected? Oh, then we'll just forget that. Just think about pedestrian crossing, or we'll say zebra crossing. Now it is not yellow, now it is white, the pedestrian crossing. Okay, so then when drivers see this pedestrian crossing, they will slow down the speed. But is there a connection, slowing down the speed and the pedestrian crossing? That's something arbitrary. Arbitrary indicators can be present even when the thing indicated is absent, as with the bachelor wearing a wedding ring, because they are conventional representations. Arbitrary signs can be changed. Okay. if you can't understand it further, I can tell something like this. Okay, so then there are lots of symbols actually. But actually, we don't have any logical connection between the item and what it represents. That is arbitrary. If a National Transportation Department decided to use the color blue as the signal to stop traffic, it could do so. So, but now in Sri Lanka, there are 3 colors, even in other countries: red, yellow, green, yellow or orange. Okay, so then when red light is on, we have to stop. When orange, green, yellow light is on, we have to get ready. When green light is on, we have to go. Imagine National Transportation Department decided to use the color blue as the signal to stop traffic. Okay. Since from tomorrow onwards, instead of red light, blue light is used. So we will obey it. But there's no logic between that. The relationship is generally arbitrary between words and what they represent. So this type of arbitrary relationship is there between words and what they represent. And we say that language is a system of arbitrary signs. So based on that, we say language is a system of arbitrary signs. To understand very easily, I will tell you this. It will take English language. D-O-G, dog. What is that? When I read you D-O-G, dog, there's something coming to your mind. That's the picture of a dog. But is there any logical connection between D-O-G, dog, the word, and the real dog? T-R-E-E, tree. So when I say tree, something comes to your mind. That is a picture of a tree. Is there any logical connection between these 4 letters, T-R-E-E, and the real tree? Did you get the point? Is it clear? Yes. Okay. So that is the meaning of arbitrary. Language is an arbitrary system, actually. All the words in language, we'll take here English language, even in Sinhala, Tamil, any other language, that is arbitrary. There are non-arbitrary items also. We'll see what they are. Okay. Read this part also. Okay, you finish reading. Language is arbitrary because of the lack of natural relationship between the signifier, that means the word, language form, and the signified, that means what does this word refer to. Words and other forms have meaning only as a parts of a system, with each form deriving meaning slowly from its difference from the other form in the system. Okay, actually, this meaning is there in the system of language only. Otherwise, there's no logic. Language from forms are arbitrary rather than iconic. Now, you have to be familiar with the term iconic. Arbitrary, iconic. Iconic means the road sign that consists of a person holding a book. A sign that refers to a library is iconic. Sorry. So just imagine by the side of a road, there is a picture of a person holding a book. That is a sign of a library. So it is iconic. Okay, that is arbitrary in a way. Sorry, non-arbitrary, iconic. An icon bears a relationship with the icon represent. Yeah, iconic means if the icon bears a relationship with what it represents, it's iconic. It is just like opposite of arbitrary. The pictorial representation of a person holding a book bears a direct relationship with an actual person holding a book. An action that can occur in a library. So when we see a person is keeping a book in his hand, that means it's gives the idea it's a library. It is iconic. The English word library, African word bibliothèque, and Czech word Nihovana bear no inherent relationship with the place that houses books and other information. Okay, so then here, English language, African language, Czech language, Czech language. There are 3 languages. And these 3 languages use 3 words to the place library. But these 3 words are not arbitrary. But the picture of a person reading a book, whether it is in America, whether it is on Africa, or whether it is in some other country, it is iconic. Did you get the idea? I will give you a better example. Just imagine what I am telling. Skull and 2 bones across. Did you get the picture? Skull and 2 bones across. What is the idea? It's poison or danger. Okay, so that also may be iconic. There's a relationship because that's a dead body, the skull, a bone of a dead person. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, so then before that, arbitrary and non-arbitrary or iconic, is that clear to you? this power failure is a huge issue actually. I don't know how the students who are sitting for the A-level exam this time, they study. Okay, is this clear? Farwin and Ilma, is yes, okay, clear. Okay, we'll go to the next part. Language as pattern structures. Yeah, okay, you finished reading? And we'll see. A language as pattern structure. A language is a set of elements and a system for combing them into pattern expressions that can be used to accomplish specific tasks in specific context. Okay, very heavy sentence. We'll understand it little by little. A language is a set of elements and a system for combing them. These sets of elements are combing formed together into patterned expressions that can be used to accomplish specific tasks in specific context. Okay, so then for specific context, there are specific patterns. For an example, how we greet at a wedding is different from how we greet at a funeral. How we wish a person going for an interview is different from how we wish a student who is going to sit for the exam. Okay, so all these things are pattern structures. Discreteness. Speakers can identify the sound segments in the words of their language. Actually, the language consists of words. Behind these words, there's the sound system. English speakers can identify the sound in cat as the three represented by the letters K and T, cat. Likewise for the sound in spill, which are recognized as four. The initial consonant cluster, you know these things, I suppose, consonant clusters, SP, these two consonant words are together. They pronounce together. Spill by S, and pa, the final consonant sound represented by L, and the vowel sound in between. It is structural feature of language that words are made up of elemental sound. Okay, so then here, this pattern is words are made up of elemental sounds. Every letter is preceding with a sound. Every word is preceding with a sound. Okay, so this is a sound system actually. And we'll go further. Displacement. First one is discrement. you finished reading, we'll see. Human languages are capable of representing things and events that are not present but are specially or temporarily distant. Okay, so then displacement. Placement, you know, but displacement means different slots. We are not confined to discussing events of the here and now. Instead, we can talk of faraway places and the events of yesterday or yesteryear, even of events that have yet to occur or will never happen. So using this language, we can talk about, here the meaning is past, present, and future. This is an important characteristics of human language. So important that when asked whether to use or language and language as pattern structure contributed most of human development. Okay, so then this language pattern and the structure, it has contributed a lot to human development. The distinguished primatologist Jane Goodall said, the biggest difference between us and the chimpanzees and the other apes is that we and only we have developed this sophisticated spoken language. We can teach our children about the things that are present events in the distant past. We can plan for the distant future. Okay, so then actually from this slide, what you should get to know is very simple. That is, human language is really different from animal language. The reason for that is we human can talk about past, present, and future using our language, but animals like chimpanzees, they cannot. Okay, that is the basic idea. In using human language, we can talk about displacement, past, present, future. But animals, they can't do that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, this is the very first lecture. This is new for me too. Okay, even though I have conducted lectures at many places, this is new to me. So then next time, I heard we are meeting once again on 30th. Before that, I will be sharing with you all the slides. Then leisurely you can read them and then come back. Then it will be very convenient. Okay. Then productivity, what we discussed, discreteness, displacement, and productivity. Okay, talk about productivity. Read. Okay, did you finish reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, productivity. From the word itself, you can understand from relatively few elements and rules in a language system, humans can produce and understand a limitless number of sentences by combing and recombing the same relatively few elements in relatively few patterns. Actually, when we think of the expressions that we use in English language or the ideas that we express in English language, it's very huge. But actually, elements, the number of words and the patterns are not that big. Even a single week's issue of the Time, these are newspapers, Time, Newsweek, and The Economist are unlikely to repeat any sentence. And these are 3 newspapers, magazines. But these 3 magazines will not repeat the same sentence unless it is a quotation. Okay, in Sri Lanka, we'll say there are many English newspapers we'll take, even not only English, even other newspapers we can take, but we are referring to English language here, we'll take English. Sunday Observer, Sunday Times, 2 newspapers we'll take. And these 2 newspapers publish articles about the same incident. But we cannot see even one similar sentence in both, except the quotations. That is because language is very productive. And the same is true over years of publication. So about the same topic, there are many books published, but they are different. The reason for that is language is productive. The human capacity for linguistic inventiveness makes repeated sentence unlikely, and an English speaker is capable of understanding all the English sentences in a lifetime reading. At the same time, once you master reading, once you are capable of reading, you can read any sentence and you can understand it. And for many observers, it is this productivity, this ability to generate and understand an infinite number of sentences by combing and recombing the same few elements and structures. That is the great hallmark of human language. So another important characteristic of human language is its productivity. The one linguistic theory centrally addressed. Okay, so then when we think of animal languages, animals can emit certain sounds, and that is very limited. But English language, human language is not like that. We'll understand the same with another example. So teacher is giving all the students the same topic. Okay, we'll say my future ambition, or maybe some other topic. Even Sri Lanka will say my country. Do you think that all the students will write the same sentences? No. There will be many different sentences. That is because of the productivity of language. Okay. I don't know whether we can do this now. It is almost 9. This is another pattern. Wait. Language as pattern structure. Here, speech as pattern language use. Goes like that. If we do that, we can. Okay. Hi. Okay, we'll just ignore it. Now, you have to share with me. Oh, shall we do this also? Then it part is over. Okay, this one also. Hi. Speech as pattern language use. Okay, you finished reading? Okay. Speech as pattern language use, communicative competence. The capacity that enables us to use language appropriately is called communicative competence. Okay, so then the meaning of communicative competence is the ability to use language appropriately. Grammatical competence is the language user's unconscious or implicit knowledge of vocabulary, pronunciation, sentence structure, and meaning. Okay, so grammatical competence, this communicative competence can be divided into many sub. Grammatical competence, it refers to unconscious, implicit knowledge of vocabulary, pronunciation, sentence structure, and meaning. Communicative competence is the implicit knowledge that underlies the appropriate use of grammatical competence in communicative situation. Okay, so then communicative competence is the implicit knowledge that underlines the appropriate use of grammatical sentences in communicative situations. Okay, under communicative sentence, the person should be able to use appropriate grammatical competence. Okay, so both should go together. Communicative competence and grammatical competence, they go together. Before we start, we'll end this. Okay, we can start from that point, the next session, the origin of language, babble to babble. Hi, okay, so then today we just started the subject languages and linguistics. Today is actually just like the introduction. This is a vast area. I told you there are 5 main topics. Under these 5 main topics, there are many subtopics. Then again, as I told you, this is a subject which carry lots of information and facts. So from the very first day itself, you can go for short notes. Then ultimately, you all will be safe. Because when your exam is coming closer, you can't read all these notes. So you need to have short notes. Hi, okay, so now it is the time now, 9:31. Here, there are some students who stayed till the end, and maybe there are some personal issues like power cut and all these things. Okay, anything that you wish to share? Okay, so if you have some ideas, you are free to text me, no issue. Then shall we stop for today? Okay, what is the message? Okay, okay, then we'll meet again with the second session, and I'll talk with the management how I can send these slides to you. Okay, and we'll work accordingly. Okay, then good night. See you in the second session. Okay. Okay, good night.